you could be a hand model and just cut it.
How can I cut it that won't upset the internet? Like, how can I cut it that I won't get death threats?
What if you cut it crossways? Cut it that
lengthwise?
No, that'll be cut it through the middle down the center.
People would riot if you did it like this.
Like you're filleting it.
Then people would turn out to vote.
Through the middle.
Like you're deboning a fish.
Today on Don't Panic Pantry, we are making a veggie burrito. Sometimes on the show, there's just food that I want to eat, so I just decided I want to make that. And I have like a deep love of like a California Tex-Mexy wet burrito. It's got the red or green sauce on it, melted cheese on top, and you eat it with a fork and knife, and it's filled with lots of stuff, but I really like it loaded with vegetables. And I happen to have broccolini, some fresh peas, some spinach, and that's gonna be kind of the base veggies for it. It's all gonna get sauteed together with onions and black beans, and I'll fold in some avocado, some rice. We're gonna get it all going. We're gonna make a red sauce, a red salsa. I happen to have some beautiful Momotaro tomatoes from the farmer's market. So I'm gonna do a fresh tomato sauce, kind of like a riff on a ranchera sauce. And I'm gonna show you a trick for kind of quick charring a bunch of stuff at the same time. I'm gonna char tomatoes, serrano chilies, garlic, and onion all at the same time in a cast iron skillet and under the broiler. Preheat the broiler and then preheat a cast iron skillet over screaming high heat. We're gonna do a dry double char at the same time. You get top heat, bottom heat, char, 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 dry char, no salt, no oil, no nothing. I'll just drop them right into our blender here, Ben. Just pour it right into this sauce pot here. And this is so we can heat it up right before we serve it. So we made our salsa, put some rice in the rice cooker, and right when it was finished, I just folded in a little bit of butter and salt just to kind of give it some flavor. And now we're going to assemble our vegetable filling mixture. This is going to be kind of a all-in-one beans and vegetable saute. First thing, take some oil, put it in the pan. It's about like 2 tablespoons. 2 garlic cloves, 1 white onion, and 1 de-seeded Fresno chili, all chopped up nice. A little salt going in there. And you don't want it to be a mush. You want it to have some texture to it. So you're not looking for like a vegetable bean puree. You want it to be kind of beans and vegetables, have a little texture and bite to it. It's going to get mixed in with the rice with a little bit of the moisture from the beans and from the spinach and stuff like that is not the end of the world, because that moisture is going to soak up into the rice. I'm going to now do a little pinch of dried oregano in here, just to add a little bit of that kind of action in there. A little bit of smoked paprika in there as well, which I think is going to give it a little bit of a smoky flavor, a nod to a chipotle pepper without actually putting the chipotle pepper in here. And I'm going to add the peas in here. If you find that your peas are on the starchy side, you could always add a little water in here now to kind of help them steam cook a little bit and let that water cook out. Now we got our 2 cups of chopped broccolini. Throw that right in. And more salt in the old piece there. What we're going to do now is we're going to be adding beans too at the end of this process. And those are going to cook into this as well. And they're going to kind of allow some of that bean liquid in there. So if you were doing this with the canned bean, you just dump in the canned beans with the juices, let them kind of cook up and cook down. So now we're going to take our 8 ounces of spinach. It's actually nice to cook a little bit in batches because it's so big and it cooks down so fast. You're going to add a handful, stir it in, let it soften a bit. So now the spinach is wilting down. I can now start adding some of these beans with some of their liquid. So it's like the equivalent of 2 cans of beans here. I love a black bean. I like a bean heavy dish, as we all know. Like, it might seem a little on the kind of light and mellow side, but that's where the cheese really kind of brings it home. Like right now it tastes like a super health foodie bowl. Like you just eat that in a bowl and you're like, wow, this guy really just sauteed a bunch of vegetables and shit together. I mean, that's what it is. Watch as we burrito it. And it will get very tasty. So this is actually everything I want in a burrito sometimes. It's like veggie forward. It's bright. You get that carby fun thing from the tortilla, but you get the cheese kind of binding it all together. But it's also not just like you're eating just like a giant softball of carnitas. And it's kind of like bright and veggie and
Yeah,
I said you probably wouldn't like it.
it's bright. It's bright. I'm sorry. You called me in the middle of a workout. I don't want to have like tomatoes while I'm like curling up and doing. I'm sorry.
And then we're gonna blend it. And make it taste nice.